It is a real honor and a distinct pleasure to be with you today at your meeting in Marakech, even if I can only be there electronically. And I would like to thank Professor Benjaloun for inviting me to be part of your meeting. The title of this talk is Why the Recent Randomized Controlled Trials Comparing EVAR and Open Repair for Ruptured AAAs are Misleading, and a secondary title is that EVAR is the best treatment if it can be done. I have no financial conflicts, but I will admit to having lots of biases. Endovascular tools in the management of ruptured AAAs is a concept we have had since we did our first U.S. EVAR in 1992. Our and others' results suggest that EVAR improves treatment outcomes for ruptured AAAs. However, many say these good EVAR results are due to case selection. And some groups have had poor results with EVAR for ruptured AAAs. Notably, 4 controlled studies which showed EVAR to be no better than open repair. The 2 in white are older studies from Europe and the UK. The 2 in yellow are more recent studies, and they include the latest one from the Swedish Vascular Registry, published in 2015. So it's fair to say that EVAR for ruptured AAAs remains controversial, and some still say we need a randomized trial of EVAR versus open repair. And 3 such randomized trials comparing EVAR and open repair for ruptured AAAs have recently been published and widely presented. These recent randomized trials are the ECAR, or French trial, the AJAX, or Dutch trial, and the more important, larger, IMPROVE, UK trial. All 3 randomized trials claimed no difference in 30-day mortality between EVAR and open repair. However, all 3 trials are flawed and misleading. Here is why. The ECAR and AJAX trials were both small trials, and importantly, both excluded high-risk patients in shock and too sick for open repair. That is precisely those patients most likely to benefit from EVAR. And both of these trials did not use optimally 3 adjuncts for improving EVAR results. These important adjuncts include hypotensive hemostasis or fluid restriction, aortic balloon control when needed, and appropriate diagnosis and treatment of abdominal compartment syndrome. Thus, both these trials are flawed and misleading. The IMPROVE trial was a large, multi-center randomized trial. It was very carefully done in 30 large centers, and its 30-day and 1-year results were published in leading journals. In both these journal articles, the main conclusion reached was, and I'll quote, that a strategy of endovascular repair was not associated with significant reduction in 30-day or 1-year mortality. And this conclusion was widely quoted on the internet and in vascular news as showing, quote, no difference between endovascular and open repair. And here is the headline conclusion in Vascular News, and you can see it. They state that there's no difference between endovascular and open repair for ruptured aneurysms. Here's why this conclusion is misleading and just plain wrong. The IMPROVE trial randomized 316 patients to endovascular strategy and 297 to open repair. The 30-day mortality was in the endovascular strategy group 35% and in the open repair group 37%. No significant difference. But one must see the details. Of the 316 patients randomized to an endovascular strategy, only 154 actually had EVAR, less than half. 112 had open repair and 17 had no treatment. Of the 297 randomized to open repair, 220 had open repair, but 36 had EVAR and 19 had no treatment. Here are improved detailed results. Of the patients randomized to endovascular strategy, 154 actually had EVAR with a mortality of 27%. 112 had open repair with a higher mortality of 38%. Of the patients randomized to open repair, 36 actually had EVAR with a mortality of 22%, and 220 had open repair with a higher mortality of 37%. So all the EVAR actual mortality was 25%, and all the open repair mortality was 38%. When the open repair and no treatment mortality was combined, the mortality at 30 days was 44%. And this is important because open repair patients are more likely to get no treatment. Which treatment do you think is better, EVAR or open repair? I conclude that the improved trial clearly shows that EVAR is the better treatment for ruptured AAA patients, if it can be done. This conclusion is strongly supported by this Annals of Surgery article, which described a two-center study in Sweden and Zurich in which 100% of 70 ruptured AAAs were treated by EVAR, although 24% required a chimney or periscope graft. This 100% EVAR study showed a very low 24% 30-day mortality, and even more importantly, it showed only a 4% turndown rate compared to that in the literature, which is 20 to 30% or even much higher. So this study and its results also supports my conclusion that EVAR is superior to open repair for ruptured AAAs if it can be done. A second and perhaps more important conclusion of my talk today is that randomized controlled trials, or level 1 evidence, are not always the infallible holy grail they are cracked up to be. And there are many, many other examples of this, although I do not have time to go into them today. So thanks to Professor Benjeloun for inviting me, and thanks to all of you for listening.